Hi everyone, and welcome to this tutorial to set up FlowRota. We've just signed up using the sign up form, and here we are on the staff rota page. Let's begin and open the checklist. First, I confirm the start of the business year, 1st of January, then enter my job title and the date I joined the organisation. Because I joined before today, FlowRota needs some historical data from the start of the business year up to now. This ensures reporting, holiday tracking, and allowances are accurate. If you just want to start scheduling, you can skip this. But for accuracy, I'll enter the data for between my start date at FlowRota and today. I'll enter my contracted hours as 35 hours per week over 5 days. I worked 5 days per week. I was paid for a total of 140 hours. I've taken a week of annual leave, so that's 35 hours, and I had no paid or unpaid absence. Next, I set the default annual leave allowance. In the UK, this is typically 5.6 weeks, which FlowRota converts into a percentage for flexible or 0-hour staff. Then I move on to pay details, which opens my user profile and scrolls to my pay details. I can enter my hourly rate, for example £20 per hour. FlowRota will use this figure to calculate how much my scheduled shifts cost and how much I am to be paid. Salaried staff can also be configured here. When you enter a salary, any shifts will not have associated costs, but instead the cost of any overtime shifts will be calculated based on the employee's annual salary defined here. Now I set my working pattern. FlowRota supports 3 options: regular weekly schedule, regular weekly hours, or casual and 0 hours. If I choose regular weekly schedule, I can also set up rolling rota patterns, for example, different working weeks that repeat over time. FlowRota asks me to define the current rota week, which acts as a reference point so the system knows which week of the pattern the employee is currently on. This ensures all future rotas generate correctly in sequence. For flexible schedules, I can define total weekly hours and expected working days. FlowRota uses this to estimate typical shift lengths. For example, 40 hours over 5 days becomes 8-hour shifts, while still allowing flexibility in which days are worked. Once I've set my working arrangement, I can then tell FlowRota how to calculate my leave allowance. Leave allowances will be covered in its own tutorial video, where it covers the Allowances tab here. Then I configure the organisation's working days in the admin panel. For example, if the business is closed on Mondays, I can disable that day and optionally apply custom rules like increased pay rates if staff do work. Finally, the checklist asks me to configure my teams. You will also notice that your first team is already created for you, my first team, so you can start immediately. This can be renamed or managed later in the admin panel. With that done, all checklist items are complete and FlowRota is fully set up and ready to use.